everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a special video that is for all you mothers out there. Now, that may not sound like the most normal video for a 20-year-old girl to be doing, but I am a professional nanny and babysitter as well as a child care worker, and I've just been thinking there needs to be more channels out there for moms who are looking for recommendations for things, who are looking for reviews, and maybe for some tips on like how to get ready in a short period of time. Which is convenient because I have to get ready today in a short period of time, but I still want to look good. So today I am going to be kind of going over what to look for in a babysitter slash nanny, and what are the warning signs for if you have a nanny or babysitter that maybe doesn't have your child's best intention at hand. Because I think that's something that's very important and presses very heavily on people's minds, but it's hard to know, like, is this a warning sign or is this just what to expect? I can tell you there are some things that are just to be expected, but there are a lot of things that are big warning signs. Now, I have to really quick get something, so I'm back. And so today I'm not going to be doing like a full makeup tutorial, but I will be showing you kind of what I do to get ready in a shorter period of time. So I am going to be taking out of the Then and Now palette by Too Faced. I like this palette because it gives you shimmers, but it also gives you some mattes to play around with, and a quick look can be really easily jazzed up by the use of both shimmer and mattes. Now, the first thing that I would like to tell all the mothers out there is a big warning sign is if your babysitter is on the phone a lot. In fact, if she is on the phone and not for the purpose of work, like she's not texting you, or she's not, or he, I should specify, you can get both a he or a she, oh my, if they are on the phone, you really don't want them watching your kid, because guess what? They probably aren't going to be paying attention to your kids. And in this day and age of technology, yes, people are going to be on their phones, but nannies, babysitters, childcare workers, we need to be attentive to your kids' needs at all times. And the difference between someone who is a professional grade nanny and childcare worker and someone who simply wants the money is how much they pay attention to your kid. If they are paying little to no attention to your child, kick them out the door. They are not needed in your life. They are clearly just looking for the money, and they obviously don't really care that much for your child. And that is a big no-no. Okay, that sounded like I was talking to a child. I'm sorry about that. I'm also going to be taking out of the Too Faced Pretty as Sweet Peach palette, just because it has some light colors right here for the crease. Let's see. I just washed all my brushes, so I'm trying to find the ones that I normally use. Now, it is hard sometimes to know right off the bat what to look for in a sitter. One, I think you should always meet with the sitter beforehand. Um, you may find an ad online, you may find a posting, you may get a recommendation for someone, but you should never just jump in with a nanny or a babysitter without having kind of an interview with them, because you will get to see during that moment what they are really like, how they interact with you, how they interact with your child right off the bat. All of that is very telling to what makes a good nanny or babysitter. I always try and make a great first impression when meeting a family. I try to talk with the kids a lot and, be animated, be fun, talk with the kids about what they like, try and get to know them, and show the family that, yes, I know what I'm doing and I care about your kids. If your nanny or babysitter just comes in, throws their stuff down, and doesn't really talk with the kid, they just want to talk business, it's like, why are you really here? Because I'm here to watch your kid, but what are they here for? So, really looking at the key signs of how do they interact with my kids off the bat, how do they interact with me, are they treating me like someone to impress, or are they not seeing me as an authority figure? Because you are an authority figure over the babysitter. Like, when I go into a home, that mother or father, or mother and mother and father, they are the people I am trying to impress. They are not just a wallet for me to, ask money from, not for. If you get that feeling that the nanny is not respecting you, they should not be taking care of your kids, because your kids deserve somebody that is going to treat you the way you want to be treated. If they see that the babysitter can talk back to you, what's going to say that they can't later on? Which, personally, would be quite a deal breaker for me. Also, what to notice going forward with your sitter. How do your kids talk about them? Are your kids excited when you mention that your sitter's coming over? Or are they like, no, I don't want them to? This is not just kid behavior. This is telling as to how your babysitter and nanny treats the kids. Kids are very blunt when they don't like something. We all probably know this by now, They will throw tantrums, or they will throw fits. They will tell you very clearly if they do not like somebody or something. And if your kid is telling you, like, I don't like her, or, she's doing this or she's doing that, you really need to think, like, why would my kid be saying this? Like, is there a practical reason for why my kid is saying this? Because if so, run. Like, you do not need someone who your kids don't like, because, you always have to take into accommodation, like, why don't they like the sitter? Ask them, why don't they like the sitter? But also, think about what they're saying, if they're saying, oh, they're on the technology all the time, that could be pretty telling. As I said earlier, like, if they are on their phones the whole time, they're not watching out for you. And holy cow, my crease. I didn't realize some of these brushes are still wet. I am going to need to blend and blend and blend and blend. I'm just trying to darken up the crease because it can add definition to your eye. It makes it slightly more dramatic, and if it's blended properly, it can look really, really nice. I don't know if you can see here, but there's more, I don't know, there's just more definition to my eye. It gives it more of a 3D look rather than just like a, my eyes are melting into my head because I'm super tired look. Yeah, so listen to your kids' feedback and pay attention to, like, the signs. I know some people are very cautious when getting nannies, getting babysitters, and it's hard to know, like, who am I inviting into the home? But if you really want a, like, good test, have the first time that they're coming over be with you in the house still. One, if the babysitter doesn't want to do that, if they won't agree to that, that shows something right off the bat. That shows that they are not comfortable working when you are there, which is clearly a bad sign because their job is to be working with your kids. So, like, why aren't they comfortable with you in the room? Like, that says something. But also, a big thing to take into account, I literally cannot find the brush that I'm looking for. Oh, here it is what would they be doing that they don't want you to see? Now, we don't want to think that we are inviting someone into our house to play with our kids that would ever hurt our children. Like, never. We never want to think about that. However, it happens because there are people out there who are gross, who are disgusting, and who don't know how to work with children. And whether they are intentionally doing it or unintentionally doing it, they may be hurting your kid, and that obviously is unacceptable. Another thing that I would say says a lot about a babysitter or nanny is the little things. Do they clean up before you get home? Like, is the home cleaner than when you left it? Or is it at least at the same state of cleanliness? Do they have a discussion with you before and after, they sit for your kids? Like, do they talk to you? Do they ask you, like, what you're expecting? Or are they just kind of like in one door, out the other? Because that's not exactly the best sign. Like, you want someone who's gonna give you, like, hey, this is what we played today, this is when I changed your kid's diaper, this is what we ate, this is when we ate it, this is when they took a nap. Like, you want that information, and you want a sitter that's going to give you that information. So here I have glitter, or not glittery, but it's like metallic-y. I think you can see that. This is going to go on my lid, and it's really going to just add a little poof to my look that maybe a matte shadow wouldn't give. So I guess I don't want to spray it, but we'll find out how it works. Another thing to think about when hiring a babysitter is, what are their credentials? Okay, I need to spray this clearly. um, if you're hiring, let's say, a 15-year-old, what makes it so that they are capable of taking care of your kid? Are they capable of taking care of your kid? Because a 15-year-old is basically still a kid. Now, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example of a credential a 15-year-old would have. Okay. For me, I had taken a babysitting certification class, and I had references because I had worked with kids before. Obviously, somebody has to hire someone for the first time, but it is something to take into account, because if you have like an infant, maybe getting a more experienced babysitter is the smarter move rather than getting one that this is their first time, because taking care of an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old is very, very different than taking care of an infant who needs diaper changes and regular feeding and a much larger patience. And that's the big thing I want to hit on is, does your babysitter have patience? A lot of people don't think about that, but that is ultimately what leads to horror stories that you hear about. We've all heard about the terrible, nannies that shake a baby or, abuse a child. And in many, many cases, it's just someone that doesn't have the patience to work with a really young kid. Because most of those stories are of kids that are young, under the age of 4. I don't know if you noticed with my eyes, I added the gold, and it really does make the eye pop a little bit. I haven't done a lot. I've only used 1, 2, 3. I've only used 4 colors. I probably could have gone with less. I just wanted to build up the crease, and it looks good. I've done this in 10 minutes probably. Oh wait, maybe a little bit longer. But I'm also talking, so there's that. But I'm serious, find somebody that has experience with your age of child, because that will make a huge difference. If you hire someone who's only worked with elementary age kids, and you have a toddler and an infant, bear in mind, they do not know what it's like to work with your age of child, and that makes a big difference. It really does, because I know for me, the first time I took care of an infant, I was scared. I'll be honest, I was scared because I didn't want to hurt them. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a tiny, tiny person. And I recognized that I was not only taking care of someone's most valuable possession, but I was also taking care of someone's most valuable possession. And they're tiny. And so really looking for someone who has experience with your age group is crucial. At least for me, it's crucial. Oops, I'm sorry. Now, there's some other things to notice. sorry, I blow on my palette because I don't want it to get all dusty. I'll go over what I've used at the end. But you can see this is my eye so far. My camera quality is terrible. I just realized how terrible it is. But I don't have the money to upgrade right now, so you're getting what you're getting. Now, do I want to go for a wing, or do I want... Really should have thought about this ahead of time. Eyeliner is really all a step that is up to you. Like, do you have time for it, or not? Because if you don't have time for it, it's not needed, it's not necessary. This is like a taupey color. Like, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I guess you can. And I'm wondering how it will look on my eyes. Because knowing me, I'm going to put this on and it's going to ruin the look, and I do not want that. I could just do mascara. I could do that. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. Because eyeliner is not necessary to make a look complete. Now, I haven't done anything to my skin yet, but I'm going to show you just a more simple way to make your face look a little bit fresher than it would normally. Okay, so another thing to think about with nannies and babysitters is, how do they dress when they come? Are they dressed in clothes that you can play with a kid in? Or are they dressed looking like they're ready to party? Because that's not exactly telling of a good... I'm not going to say that's like a deal breaker, but it should be something to be taken into account. Because if they're not dressed to play with your kid, how do you know that they're going to play with your kid? Now, I have shown up to babysitting and nannying before in slightly fancier clothes, but that was only after the family got to know me and knew that that was just kind of my style. Because it is. Like, I just naturally have a more, I don't know, fancy or just more elaborate look. And so, yeah, they knew that even though I showed up in high heels, those high heels were coming off. And even though I was wearing a dress, there were leggings on underneath, and I was still going to be getting down and playing with their kid. Like, at the end of the day, my outfit did not stop me from doing my job. But I also know people who will wear clothes that are just not appropriate for working with a kid. And that could mean many different things. That could mean they show up and their boobs are popping out of their shirt, or they're wearing tiny, tiny shorts that are showing way too much. And that's not appropriate. That is not the type of attire to wear to babysit a child. And that's something to think about, because let's just say, you know, you have a 6-month infant, since a 6-month-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a 6-year-old. Those are a wide range of kids. I babysat for that kind of range of kids, but while the baby may not be influenced by a really low-cut shirt and short shorts, the older two are going to notice it. And not only are they going to notice it, but if they look up to you, they're going to want to dress like you and look like you. And you do not want your kids wanting to look like, you know, someone that just walked off the streets. Now, I just have to show you guys what this brush looks like. It is the weirdest looking thing I have ever seen. It is a new mascara. It's the CoverGirl Peacock Flare in black. I don't know. Oh, it doesn't tell me. That was cute. I got it, and I'm not sure how I like it, because I don't know, but I wanted to try a new one. I don't really ever use mascara that lengthens or volumizes or does anything, because my eyelashes are naturally very curly and very long, and I have a lot of them. But I was kind of like, well, you know, I'm starting a YouTube channel, maybe I can start wearing big kid mascara. But I'm not sure if this is doing what I thought it would do. I don't know. But I would say even popping on just a little bit of mascara before you start the day makes a big difference. It just kind of adds attention to one of your eyes, not one of your eyes, to your eyes, and it, I don't know, shows that you did put in some effort. It can also distract from the dark circles under the eyes. I feel like this video has been totally random, and when I edit it, I'm probably going to be like, I don't want to use any of this. But I do want to just give some tips out there to the moms, because, and I think I want this to be a series, because nowadays, in the era of technology and social media, it's really hard to know what a good babysitter and nanny looks like, because you hear all the horror stories and what all the bad examples look like. But what does a good babysitter look like? You know? Do they show up ready to play with the kids? Do they ever bring stuff to play with your kids? I know I always loved bringing toys, games, crafts, activities from home that I had already prepared to play with the kids, because kids love new things. They love something new, they love surprises, it's just an element of surprise in their life that is really fun for a lot of kids. And I personally think shows a lot of dedication is if your nanny or babysitter takes their own time to prepare to work with your kids, because it should be like any job, and any job does not just stay at work. I don't know, I think these eyelashes are looking okay, like, yeah, I think so. They're not, like, huge, but whatever. Okay, and so this is my simple eye. Just by adding a little bit of definition, color, and shine, I just spruced my eyes up a little bit. And I used gold to accent the blue in my eyes. And I really think it just freshened my face up a little bit. Now, eyebrows, I just use, no, I am at the very end of this, but I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Tinted Brow Gel in Blonde. And I love this because I have a lot of eyebrow hair, and I don't really need, like, coating after coat. Like, I don't need to draw on my eyebrows. So this just kind of puts them where they need to be, puts them in place, gives it a little bit more shape, and I don't know, just, yeah, because I don't need, I don't need a ton of work for my eyebrows. So, and now eyebrows does not have to be a step for you, especially if you're running late. But even sometimes, if you can just pop on mascara and eyebrows, you just stepped your look up, because now you've got some prominent features and it shows that you put in effort. Okay, what am I going to wrap up with? Trying to think of other, like, key qualities. Oh, I know. Does your nanny and babysitter know how to react? Do they know how to respond in an emergency? I am first aid, CPR, AED trained. I know how to respond in almost every situation. I have been EpiPen trained. I have been trained in a lot of things, let's just say. And I let families know that, who I work with, because I think that is a huge thing. Some parents may not care, but me, I would care. As a parent, I would care. Because, like, you hope nothing would happen when you were away, but something could happen, and does your nanny know what the steps are to take? Do they know where the local hospital is? I mean, I'd hope they know how to dial 911, but do they know when you want them to dial 911? Do they know what the response is when they have to dial 911? Are they going to call you? Or are you just going to show up at the house and suddenly find that your kid's not there? Because that's a huge thing. Thinking other things to think about. What are your kids' allergies? What are your kids' medical needs? Does your kid sometimes have seizures? Do they sometimes, I don't know, do they have asthma? Are they allergic to bees? Do they have an EpiPen? These are all things that are very good to let a babysitter know, because those are the kind of things you want them knowing. I'm just putting on some light powder foundation just to even out my skin tone. I'm not putting a huge ton on because that takes a lot of work and effort, and I don't got that kind of time and effort. But that is something to take into account, you know? Does the babysitter know, like, contacts, emergency contacts? Do they know when to call those emergency contacts? Do you have your babysitter's emergency contact? These kind of things are good to know, and good to know about your nanny, because while you may never have to use it, and hopefully you never have to use it, if you're a long-term nanny or long-term babysitter for a family, it probably is going to come up. I know there have been times where I have had to call the parents and been like, so, this person, so-and-so got hurt, and I don't think it's anything, but I wanted you to know because, you should know, and, do you want me to take them somewhere, or do you want to wait until you get home? Like, what's the situation? And most of the time they just say, oh, just wait until we get home. I don't think I've ever actually had to take a kid I was babysitting to the the emergency room. Thank God. Oh my gosh, I pop my ears. I'm like, oh, so congested. Crazy. Okay, so you can see that it kind of like evened my skin tone out just a little bit. It didn't cover a ton, but it is nice. I used the L'Oreal True Match in shade Soft Ivory. I don't know if they still sell this. This is like ridiculously old, but I'm using it anyways. And then I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal True Match blush in Baby Blossom. You like can't see the color. Oh my gosh. The sun is terrible. Thank you, sun. Blush can just add a little bit of color back into your skin. Because you know what? Sleep deprivation, it takes that away from you. What was I thinking? Okay. And I'm just using an angled brush to put on the blush. It's from Morphe. I do use Morphe brushes. Some of my brushes are from Sephora. Some of them are from EcoTools. Some of them are from e.l.f. But most of them are from Morphe. Wow, this is wet, and that was terrible. Oh gosh. Okay, so we're not using that. This actually has a bottom compact. It has like a little dinky brush. But right now this is dry, so we'll just swirl it in there. And pray it isn't terrible. Oh yeah, it's not terrible. Okay. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it wasn't just me rambling. I do want to do, I said this, I think probably not like 4 times. I do want to do this as a series, so like, let me know the kind of stuff you want to, hear me talk about. Do you want me to give reviews on movies, shows, toys? I'm trying to think what else. That was cute. I'm trying to think what. I don't know what to like think about. I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Like, what kind of things would be helpful for you as the mom to know? Do you want to hear, from a person who works with kids all the time, what TV show is best? Or do you want to hear, like, what toy is best? What's worth your money? Do you want to know, like, hacks, like DIY hacks? Or, oh my gosh, I'm trying to find a good light angle. Oh, holy blush. What do you want to, oh my. This is fun. This is great. And that just made it exponentially worse. Alright. Don't you love when something just throws you off? When in doubt, use the fingers. And then I'm just going to put on a little highlight. I know it's not always the go-to look, not always the mom look, but a mom deserves to glow too. So I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit. Here's what the inside looks like. I personally love these colors, except I don't really wear Star right here, but I'm sure it would look good on somebody. I am going to go in with my fan brush from Morphe, and I'm gonna go into Pink Heart and just go in there a little bit and hope this works with my brush, and just pop it on all over. Okay, maybe not all over, but just places to like glow up a little bit. Glow up. Because it can be tiring being a mother, and just adding a little bit of shine can really change the look. Do you see what's happening to this brush right now? This is terrible. Like, what? I honestly, I don't like washing my brushes for this factor and this factor alone. I'm gonna go in with my fingers now because I'm not happy with my level of shine yet. But seriously, like, I want to know what you guys want to hear. If you want to know more, like, quick tricks to looking, like, more awake, if you want to know good places to take your kids to eat, that are, like, family friendly, and, like, not too expensive, let me know. I can do that. Ooh, that nose highlight, though. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Oh, yeah, you can. A little over the Cupid's bow, just so when I put on a little lip color, it accentuates more. I don't know why, but I feel like my highlight's just not showing up on this side because of the ridiculous amount of blush that was put on. Okay, we're good. So I'm done with that. And now, oh, before I put on lips, where is that? I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Matte Magic Mist and Set. This is a setting spray. It's good to spray on, like, your brushes when you have, like, a shimmery or glittery eyeshadow, but it's also good to spray all over your face. I know a lot of beauty gurus are like, oh my gosh, it feels so nice, but seriously, it just feels like spraying something in my face, and I don't know if I like it. Like, I've been using setting spray for a while now, but I'm just not sure if I like it. I do like the fact that my makeup goes nowhere after I put it on, though. Okay, lip color. Now, lip color can change everything. Personally, in my opinion, you could go with something very light and a little sparkly, like this Estee Lauder lipstick. That is Pure Color Love lipstick. Oh, no kidding. That was the name of what it is. Ripened Raisin is this color, and you can see it has some, like, shininess in it. I personally really like it. It adds, wow, that was amazing. This is my luck. This is my luck. It just adds, like, enough color to really make a difference. You could also do a darker lip and really kind of like make it that kind of a statement, or you could do like a nude lip and have it just be subtle but put together. Personally, I do not do nude lips. Like, I don't know. I don't think it It's not that it doesn't look good on me, it's just not my preferred style. And so it's really up to you how you finish the look. I'm going to be doing this today because it's simple, it is easy, it kind of goes with the shawl that I'm wearing, and now you can see my finished makeup look. I'm personally happy with it. It makes me look way more awake than I actually am. If you can see, I have a Trenta with me today. I had to be up at 7:45 in the morning, and I know compared to most of the mothers out there, that is super late. But for a college student, that is early. But I was working at the YMCA in the daycare today, so I have to go and pick up a friend and take her to go get a tattoo, but I think I'm going to come back, go over the specific eye colors that I used, the specific brushes that I used, and just point out some things that I did with my eye, and then I will kind of wrap up. I will watch this video, and then I will kind of wrap up what I talked about in the video. And who knows, maybe edit it a whole ton, because I feel like a lot of times I was rambling, but I don't know. So, yeah, I will see you in a few hours. Bye!